Wow, what a remarkable 2020 so far. It's everything but uncertain. And really, when you look at September, you're wondering because the weather's been so nice. It kind of feels not like it's fall, but more like it's spring, and definitely feels like spring when it comes to real estate. In fact, we've been setting some fall records because the numbers look a lot like spring, and we are going to break it down here for you. Instead of saying that average price is up 1.5% and who cares, I'm already bored, we're going to break it down to a few major statistics, and we're going to talk them through in ways that are more meaningful. You should check out our exclusive hot and cold lists. And in addition to that, if you like content like this, please like or subscribe. It'll make sure that you don't have to search for it or come by it by happenstance. It'll just be there for you next time. And in addition to that, if you are considering, or maybe you know somebody who's going to head into a show home and engage in a home build, I want to let you in on a little bit more information because we're going to do a virtual event on October 20th. And if you RSVP, you could win a Kindle Fire HD. Now, these things are the coolest. See how this one's rubberized around the end? That's because, or around the edge. That's because it's for kids like mine, 3 and 5-year-olds. It's for 3 and up. And what it's going to do is take a beating. It's not one of those crazy expensive tablets, so you're not going to worry too much about your kids using it. And you can set educational milestones and goals, and also screen limitations. Really great for parents. We understand that there's times where you want to tune into maybe a virtual event, and it'd be really handy to just hand over a device to your kid, and then they can work on some things that you don't feel so guilty about. It's not just the same as what they're finding on Netflix and YouTube. But either way, you should join us for this builder event because we're going to decode show homes. We're going to let you know what we've seen over hundreds and hundreds of transactions, and many times representing families to builders. Like, honestly, there's some FAQs here that you may be really surprised about, like what the largest discount we've ever seen from a home builder list price is, or why you may or may not want to have a home inspection even though your property is under warranty. There's some details here you don't want to miss. There's some great experts, and we want to help you too achieve a remarkable real estate experience, and that's because we're HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City. We are the top team at RE/MAX River City, and we are also the top team, the highest rated and reviewed real estate team on RankMyAgent.com, and that's the exclusive Realtor.ca verified rating system. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Click here on the stats, and we'll see you at our builders event. Cheers. This is Taylor. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, and this is the hot list. This is actually the best part of statistics to give right now because it's the best news out there, and we're going through one of the strongest seller environments since 2014. And if you're looking for where the heat is really hot, where the most movement and most growth has been, really what we're doing is we're taking a look at September against past Septembers, and we're saying, what has changed? What's different than what's been happening before? And my goodness, from 250 to 450, it's just another story. Every single one of those market segments is up at least 30% year over year. Every single one of those market segments is the highest number of units sold in September in the last 5 years. And if you wanted to get to the heat of that point, it's right in the middle, that 350 to 375 range. It's up 100% in the number of units sold in September as compared to 2019. It's also the highest it's been over the last 5 years. But that's what we expect, right? That is the biggest group of families with kids in the average price property. That is what we call the center mass of the Edmonton market. And as you move up, there's a few outliers here. Like if you were to get up into that 650 to 700 range, they are actually, the number of units sold is up 67% as compared to 2019. But that's not the biggest story here. The absolute hottest price point in the greater Edmonton area right now has got to be 575 to 600. Right below that is one of the coldest parts of the market. And in September, this is up 680% from any time in the past, from last year, and way over any time in the last 5 years. That is really interesting information. So really, if you're a buyer who is approaching the marketplace and you heard me call out the price point that you're interested in, you need to be ready, you need to be pre-approved, you need to be able to operate in the regular amount of days on market that sellers need you to, meaning that about 10 days is all you're going to get to remove your conditions. And so you need to be ready before you approach. I think that you might want to get advice and also take a look at the things that sellers look at, like what other properties are selling for. That'll keep you from making an uneducated offer. Now, on the other side, If you're a listing and you are looking to price into one of these points, there's some specific strategy that you need to take to make sure that you are able to extract the highest potential. It could be that you drop into a part of the market that's hot like this and you don't know it, and then you take an offer on Friday when you could have been collecting offers all weekend. It could be that at the time that you get an offer, there's 3 other parties that are considering putting an offer on your property. And if you're not getting feedback on the showings, you may never know that. You may never know that there's 3 other people that want to know if you catch an offer. So in that case, you could be waiting for these buyer agents to volunteer this information, or you could be getting feedback, and that's something that'll probably change your outcome. This is the Hot List. My name is Taylor. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, and I hope you're doing awesome. Cheers. This is the Cold List. My name is Taylor. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, and each time we do market statistics, we take a look at where it's hot and where it's cold from a whole different series of criteria, and right now I'm talking about price. And what I mean by that is there are price points on the MLS that are getting more action than others. We have some expectations in some cases, but really when you take a look at a 5-year trend, it's interesting to know where the least opportunity in the marketplace is for sellers, because what we're talking about in general right now is this is one of the strongest seller environments since 2014. And really, when you talk about properties under 250, that's just not the story. And what I mean by that is that under 250,000 is not getting the same growth. In fact, they have negative growth when you consider the number of units that sold in September over the last 5 years. And the coldest point is really that $100,000 to $150,000 range. We're seeing much less action down at that part of the market, and it could be that this particular part of the market is the most affected by financial hardship. This is where the youngest people are, the least established people are, the people that are normally the closest to the wire. So if anything changes, including whether or not their business was able to operate during shutdown, whether or not they worked at one of the small businesses that isn't a small business anymore, these things will change those outcomes, and that's what we're seeing across the board here. Now, the other thing that we see is maybe a little bit less demand on investors from this side, just due to the climate of dealing with tenants right now, in a climate where you can't necessarily get access to your property all the time if people have health concerns, and also sometimes people are struggling making the rent. So it could be that many investors that would be participating in this pool are kind of spending more time with their fire extinguisher these days than with their checkbook. Now, there are some spots that are still cold, even though they're outside of this group, and they kind of look like outliers to me. Like, for example, if you were to take a look at the hot list that I just posted here, then you would see that 575 to 600 range is the hottest spot in the market. Now, right neighboring to that 500 to 575 range is one of the places that totally lacks growth, meaning that there is so much being bought in that 575 to 600 range that 550 to 575 range may not even be getting inventory dropping in as people make reductions, because they're not making reductions because they're getting buyers. So if you were a seller approaching that price point, it could be that if you were in that 550 range, you might want to try to level up and compete at 575. There could be enough action there that just the trend could benefit you. See how this type of information could immediately garner results? This is the type of information that we are giving to clients as they enter the marketplace, and that's why we get so many 5-star experiences. For those people that are under 250, really you got to take a look at whether or not your best option is to continue on the market or try to hold and wait. There may be better opportunities for you as the market shifts a little bit, and that would be something that I would consider if I was a seller entering this part of the market. This is the Cold List. My name is Taylor. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, and I hope you're doing awesome. Cheers.
Months of inventory is a measurement of how supply is related to demand in real estate. My name is Anthony, and this is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City. And when I talk about months of inventory with folks, basically what it comes down to is if there weren't any other properties coming to market based on our current rate of sale, how long would it take to sell everything that's currently for sale? And right now we're currently at 3.8 months of inventory, which is kind of like in the balanced market area, because 0 to 3 months of inventory would be a seller's market, and anything over 4 months would be considered a buyer's market, and we're right between there. Right now, we would say that there's never been a better environment for sellers to sell in the market for a very long time. And over the last couple of months, we've been right above the 3.5 and 4 mark. And this time last year, for some context, we were at 6.2 months of inventory. So how does this affect you if you're a buyer in the market? Well, most importantly, if you are only using the public tools like realtor.ca to search for listings, there's a good chance that by the time you see it, call someone to go have a look at it or ask for more information. There's a good chance that it's already pending. So you're going to want to talk to an expert like us to get set up on the pro tools. So that way you're getting properties on day zero and don't miss out on all the hot ones. If you're a seller or you're thinking about selling, right now, because there is less inventory on the shelves, so to speak, there's less competition for you. So if your home's ready to go, you might only need a couple of things to get ready. We should chat, because if you're thinking about bringing your property to market in the spring, although that's typically when most people do think about listing their home, if you don't have other influences that you're concerned about, right now we should chat about that, because less inventory means less competition, which means that could be the difference between selling your property now or having other competitors later that could force you to move your price down or maybe not find a buyer. Let's have a chat about that, because we'd love to help you make decisions about whether or not now is the right time or if you'd like to wait. Cheers. So how long does it take to sell the average home in the market today? My name is Anthony, and this is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City. And when we look at how long it takes to sell the average property in today's market, we look at days on market as just a statistic that we can see some trends over the last little while. So I'll get into that now. Currently, for all residential properties, we're sitting at about 53 days on market. Obviously, it's a bit higher for those apartment style condos at about 65, which is just about 2 days less than it was at this time last year. But for all residential, we're overall 10 days less on the market. What this means to buyers is that you need to be in that ready position. Because homes are just staying on the market a bit less than they would be normally. Properties are tending to be on the market for less. They're getting a lot of showings early on. So 3 things you could be doing to make sure that you're in that ready position. So number 1 is make sure you're pre-approved. You got to be able to move quick in this type of market. So make sure you're working with an expert, which would be number 2. And then just be ready and know that places like Sherwood Park and St. Albert are very, very quick. There's lots of properties going pending in that first week, even on day 0, day 1 on the market. So be ready to go and view those properties as soon as you see them and have interest in them. And then advice to sellers, because properties are people and buyers that are shopping for properties are going to be more cautious of the days on market number. You got to have your property listed effectively in order to sell effectively. So trying to get the most money might not be the best case scenario here. You want to list it, get an expert evaluation, talk about what the market value is, and even if you need to move quick, maybe what it's going to take to sell your property quick so you can go and buy that next one, especially since all the low interest rates are here. So just to recap, be approved, work with an expert, and be ready. And then for sellers, just make sure you're getting that expert market evaluation so you know where your property stacks up so you can be ready. And like before, 63 days on market was last year, and currently we're at 53. Cheers.
Instead of looking at the average sale price of a home like it's the average price that a home sells for, look at it like it's the market's appetite. I'm Kim Christensen with HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City. The average sale price for all residential property in Edmonton for the month of September was $376,571. In August of this year, the average sale price for all residential property in Edmonton was $374,409. Last year in September, the average sale price for all residential property in Edmonton was $351,471. So breaking that down for you a little bit, for all single detached families, the average sale price in September was $440,020. For condominiums, it was $232,327, and for duplexes and row houses, the average sale price for the month of September was $376,571. These are looking great. For the past few months, these prices are rising, which is such great news for sellers. We haven't seen this in such a very long time. So if you're a seller thinking about bringing your property to the market, now is a wonderful time. And the fall market has just kicked off and it is hot. If you're a buyer looking at getting into a property, make sure you connect with your realtor so you're set up on searches and you don't miss out on day 0. We are seeing multiple offers and things go pending on opening weekend or even on day 0. If you want to connect with us for any information, we would love to help you. Have a great day. How likely are properties to sell in today's market? I'm Kim Christensen with HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City. We look at this through sales to new listings ratio. So this is the relationship between new properties coming to the market and old ones leaving the market at a successful rate. So breaking this down for you in percentage, for all residential property for the month of September was 63% likely to sell. In August, for all residential property in Edmonton was 66%. But last year in September, the likelihood of all residential property to sell in Edmonton was 51%. So what a huge jump from what we seen last year. So breaking this down again for you, for single detached homes for the month of September was 73% likely to sell versus last year was 52%. So condominiums for the month of September was 48% versus last year was 50%. So that's condominiums are down just a little bit. Duplexes and row houses for the month of September, likelihood to sell was 80%. Last year for the month of September was 49%. So what a huge jump. This is so exciting for sellers. We haven't seen this in many years. If you're thinking about bringing your property to the market, the fall market just kicked off. It's exciting and very busy. So you should connect with your realtor and talk about it if you're thinking about it. It's a great time right now. If you're a buyer, connect with your realtor. If you're looking to buy, getting into a home, you don't want to miss out. We've been seeing things go in multiple offers, day zero, or over the opening weekend, things are selling. So make sure you don't miss out. Connect with your realtor so you get those properties and get into them before you miss out.
Thank you so much for joining us as we run through the real estate statistics in what might be the best seller environment since 2014 in the greater Edmonton area. We're seeing some really interesting things happening, and this rally was not predictable, and it has been a very different experience. Neat to see what's going on. Now, you can get more content like this. We actually do information on neighborhoods as well. If you want to know what's happening in your neighborhood, you can request it. You can give us maybe a question that you'd like to see answered by responding here. And also, there is a click-through for you to RSVP for our builder event. And if you RSVP, you can enter to win this, which is a Kindle Fire. So do you see this on your screen here? This is the coolest device. If you have kids yourself, you probably already know about this. This is the affordable tablet that you won't cringe when they drop because it's got the protective outer coating. And then you can set those parent limitations that all the children love so much, where you control the amount of screen time they have or what they're doing and maybe the milestones associated with their education. So it has all the kind of secret intelligence that you want in the friendly package that your kids will go nuts for. And you can get that by RSVPing to our builder event, because we're going to decode show homes. We're going to show you some of the things that they do when you make offers. Like maybe they're going to defend and say, hey, listen, we can't give you any lower price because we need to defend the market for our clients that have already bought. That makes a lot of sense. That sounds warm. That sounds excellent, but it's a lie. There is no builder that controls enough market share in Edmonton that they could actually make a market outcome. And if they were to talk to other builders about doing that, well, that's something that probably wouldn't be reviewed well when it comes to things like competition boards. So see how the market then becomes this available place where you can make offers, find options, and even in a market where they're talking about construction costs going up, you can still win. So join us for 5-star builder experiences. This is a virtual event with HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, where we're going to talk to other local experts on the best mortgages to get, on what you should do regarding a home inspection, even when a place has a warranty, and how to make sure that you don't overpay as we kick off the builder part of the year. My name is Taylor. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, and I hope you're doing awesome. We will talk to you soon. Cheers.